What's up, everyone? This is Bacon, and today we are talking about a game that I have been thoroughly hooked on for the past week, and that is Dragon Traveler. Dragon Traveler is an idle game, but it has a little spin to it. So, pretty much, just like any other idle game, you're going to be progressing through levels, clearing chapters, going on. The more you clear, the higher, resources you get every hour, and it's super fun. I've really loved it. One thing to say though, this is definitely a Gooner game, so if you are not really into those type of games, it might not be the game for you. But I want to say, everything isn't totally Gooner, just most of it. So I mean, you can see here, there's some Goonery, but the art style I think is really cool, just like on some of the heroes. Okay, well this one is a skin. I did not pay for that, just to say I unlocked it. But this is just this one's a skin you get for free, which is kind of cool. Example of some Goonery. But overall, basically, you are trying to progress in the game. There's a lot of different game modes you can participate in. And I don't know what it is about it, but the game just feels really rewarding. And there's also a lot of components of the game that just make sense. I don't know how else to explain without showing you, but if you go ahead and click this little fairy, so I forgot when you get this, but you get this fairy retainer thing at some point, and basically you can adjust the order it does different tasks for you, and literally you can have it do almost every AFK thing in the game. You can even go here, there's a lot of stuff you can make it do, which really cuts back on how much time you have to spend every day doing the basic kind of tasks that you have to do that kind of get repetitive after a while. So this is one thing that I think makes the game really cool is I can log in, I can make the fairy do all this stuff for me. Some of it won't be optimal, but it will clear it and it'll be fine. It will even push campaign and different other modes for you, different towers, stuff like that, which I think is really cool. I think it's a really good idea that a lot of games just kind of, for some reason, it's like they want you to spend more time playing the game every day, which I guess makes sense because then you might have a higher chance of spending money, but also it kind of burns people out and they quit over time. So this is one thing about the game that I really like. But let's go ahead and actually look at the content. So you have your basic kind of game modes. This is your towers. This is your main tower, and these are your side towers based on the different traits. Something that's cool, now we're talking about traits, I'm going to just kind of jump all over in this video, so it might seem a little kind of all over the place. But you can see here that heroes have two different traits. So you can see this one, what's her name? Ifrit. You can see Ifrit has two different traits. And I look at this one, she has two different, all heroes have two traits, which I think is a really cool kind of unique spin on things. If we just kind of scroll through here, you can see it's fire, grass, fire, wind, wild, I don't know. And so it just really adds a lot of, that skin is ridiculous. I need to remove it because every time I see it, I just it's just a little too much in your face, especially when I'm playing on a big screen. But you can see all these traits. Every hero has two traits, which is cool because there's a lot of crossover in things like the towers, for example, that I was just looking at, where you have heroes that I can use my fire wilder ones in these first two. I think this is the fire one. In these first two, instead of just being able to use it for one tower. It also kind of works with proccing different abilities, because how some of the combat works, and I'll show you the combat in a second, is if you hit someone with a fire one and then a water one, it causes, I don't know if it's called evaporation or something, but it causes different effects. Kind of think of Genshin Impact, where you kind of hit him with one element and you hit him with another. It can cause different effects, and so it's cool to have some of these just combinations of traits and a lot of different ways you can kind of go about that stuff. But you have your kind of resource grinding stuff here too. You got your labyrinth or maze type thing here, but it's very straightforward. You can kind of skip half of it or a third of it just by basically being strong. This is kind of your hard trails, where you give your heroes different things to basically like you more. But this reminds me, so this is really cool. So some heroes, there are there's like a EX, I think it's what it's called. Let's see. It's actually, I have a hero right here. I don't know if it shows it. Yeah, EX. So EX heroes are basically like god tier, like very hard to get. You can't just pull them. You basically have to pull like these shards, and you get these shards over time, and then you can unlock them. You can actually clear these little affection lover things. I don't know what you want to call them. And then you can sweep them every day, and you actually have a chance of getting a few of these shards every single day. And so you can actually grind out some of these characters that are really rare. Even like this is an SSR plus, which makes it kind of like a limited edition one where you can only get them for a certain amount of time. I think she will eventually get put back to the game. And you can even get like stuff like here. So like I pulled her from a limited event. She's no longer here, but I think she'll be added to the normal summon pool eventually. But the fact that I can get this hero and then I can continue getting shards to build her out, I think is really cool. It doesn't make you feel like you're like totally set behind or you just can't catch up. Overall, I just think this is a really cool part of the game. They really make it like, I wouldn't say free to play friendly, but kind of like casual player friendly. Like I don't want to have to stress about like, oh my gosh, I need to get all these things. But you can also try really hard and you can kind of like min-max. This is just kind of like your side maps, getting more resources. Here is like your boss battles where you get different gear and it changes every day. So the boss you can battle changes every day. You can get different gear. This is like a limited thing where you can clear different waves. There's 25 total, and the heroes you have you can use, and they're kind of like set to a minimum standard. So if I have like one copy of a hero, they're already like increased to like a certain amount of stars or the strength. You have to clear different ones, and it's actually pretty hard, pretty challenging. Coliseum is an interesting mode that came out. It's like you basically put 3 heroes in and you kind of like can swap them out and they just battle 3 other heroes, and the point of it is to clear it within 40 seconds. Kind of a weird mode. Training camp just lets you do different things, practicing different things, clearing different runs. But let's go ahead and just take a look at what a challenge or a battle might look like. So I'm going to go here. This is like every 4-ish waves, you have to fight a boss. And boss is pretty much the person right there. You can see him. And so you're going to have a screen where you have 9 different things. So depending on the type of hero you have, you can only put them in certain spots. I got rid of my person. And so like the tank can only go in the front row. The kind of like melee person can go in the front too. The sorcerer can go in the middle and the back. Same with the bow person. The assassin can go anywhere, and the assassin actually goes into the back line depending on where you put them, and they can be stopped by putting a tank person in front of them. So for example, this assassin is going to go kill her or attack her, and it has that because she's in direct fire. But if I put her there, it blocks her. So pretty cool stuff. Then you got like your support healers who can go in the middle. And then you have your character who is a dragon. And there's different dragons you can pick. This is what my character looks like. Different dragons have different abilities. You can choose to kind of build out certain ones based on their traits, their abilities, and so on and so forth. And so you can also evolve them so they kind of get stronger. Let me see if I can show you. No, that's not what I want. So let me just exit out this protagonist star upgrade. So you can see here evolutions. So I can evolve him into like a medium one and then like a mega dragon. And it takes some time and investment, but you definitely can do this at a reasonable pace, I would say. It doesn't feel like you're like missing out if you're not like really strengthening your dragon. I have like 2 that I'm kind of building up, but mostly the fire one for now. So that's kind of how that combat works. I'm going to probably lose this because I've been stuck in this wave for a little bit of time now. But I'm just going to play this. I'm going to start it. My dragon does his roar. I'm going to put it in like slow. This is the order of the abilities that my people, you can set this beforehand. So if I want her to go first, I'll put her here. This is kind of like my bar as it goes up. You use your stuff, your special ultimate or whatever. And you can kind of see just how things are progressing. She just used her ability. and I'm going to die because all my front line's dead. Boom. And that's how a normal battle works. There's some variations, but that's pretty much it. I think what's cool is you can also auto pretty much everything in the game, it feels like. You can have your fairy do your arena stuff for you. Where is it at? I have her do my points league, which is like one of the arena modes. I don't know if she can do like regular arena, but here I have her do points league, which is basically, depending on how high you are, you get passive things, gold medals, which you can use at the store and buy different dragon things. And then there's like your typical arena ladder where you're trying to get to the top. You got the top mega whales up here, and then you're just kind of like in here somewhere. The farther you progress, the better the rewards. And so overall, like a lot of very standard things, but I think they make the game itself fairly like user friendly. They did a really good job of doing that. And so I think that's something that I've really enjoyed with the game is I get excited every day when the reset happens because there's just notifications all over the screen, and I'm just like, okay, time to grind, time to get some progression going. I start my little fairy. She autos a lot of stuff for me. I get all the resources, and then I start upgrading things, and then I'm able to push in a few different areas. I'm close to getting a second copy of her, of Poseidon, and so once I get a second copy of her, I can level her star up one more time, and then you can actually pick one hero, and this obviously can go farther and farther, but you can pick one hero that will resonate with your highest, or there's like some like way of combining all your stars, and they determine like where the star resonance is going to be, but you can basically put them in, and then they're going to get this resonance right here. And I think it's the highest one you have. I could be wrong, but I think that's really cool because once I get her up one more, I can put her in here, and then she will get that resonance, which I think is really cool. I'm really excited for that. So I can start using Poseidon at a stronger level. I'm hoping that's the case. Maybe it won't let me do that because she's an EX, but getting another copy of her should be really nice for my account. But that's just an example of like different things that are pretty friendly. Like you can put them in the residence. You don't have to, upgrade every single hero to get like all the stuff, because getting all the resources to upgrade can be a little challenging. You see here, I need one copy or two copies rather of her, and then I need my like fodder. And if you were to do that with every single hero, it would take quite a long time. And so it's nice that they have that resonance option for you where you can kind of put someone in there. They get buffed up. You don't have to worry about like leveling up or anything. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the summons. So you have the summons. This is like the limited banner right now. And then this is like your typical banner. So if we look at the wish list, you unlock this after pulling a certain amount of people. Here is the SSR Plus. These are the heroes that are kind of like on a higher tier. And then here's the SSRs. These are just kind of like your basic rare heroes that are strong, but not the strongest. And so you can see here, we have a good amount of SSRs to pick from. And then we also have these heroes that you will unlock eventually when any class reaches level 2-1. So you can see here, like, there's like kind of steps to getting certain heroes, which is cool. I like that you can kind of look forward to different heroes being unlocked. You can see they have kind of a variety of like waifus, some beast guys. You got tree guy, rock guy, blob guy, ogre, but it's mostly like a bunch of waifus. There's really not any like male characters besides like a panda bear or like a pharaoh guy, and maybe like a few others. But I think the designs of the heroes are really cool overall. I've enjoyed them. This is the one that I was talking about where you can choose one of the mythical heroes and you kind of summon them here through the shards. You get these just from doing random things in the game. And then here's just like a different summoning thing. I'm not going to get into that. But overall, the game has been super fun. I would recommend you just trying it if you like idle games. I've never played a kind of like a world type idle game where you kind of see your character clear through the world and kind of move. You don't have to play that long to start getting the auto options either, which is really nice. And it doesn't feel like you are running out of resources a lot. Like I've gotten so many diamonds in this game. I have spent about $25, so keep that in mind. I've spent a little bit of money, but it hasn't felt like I need to spend a bunch of money to really get ahead or anything. I feel like my account is a slightly above average, and I've really enjoyed it. I probably spend a few hours a day, honestly, playing this game, and it's kind of an addiction at this point. I'm kind of addicted to the waifu simulators. I'm addicted to just leveling up my heroes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the characters though, and see if like all the characters just kind of cruising through them, and then I think that's about it. That's enough glazing of this game for now. So here is kind of like the codex based on the type of character they are. So these are like the tanks. You can see here's the EX. This is Athena. They're kind of doing like a Greek god theme, I guess. Pretty cool hero, honestly. I like the purple hair and the sword and stuff. And there's definitely a big emphasis on the boobas in this game. I think there was some criticism, I'll be honest, that some of the stuff looks AI generated or was AI generated, which honestly, like, as long as it looks good and doesn't just look like slop, I don't care if it was AI generated. I haven't noticed like someone having 6 fingers or like things just not making sense anywhere. I also don't pay attention to that stuff that much, but I just feel like overall, like, the designs are pretty cool. Let's look at the healers. I think one of the only things that has really looked AI generated is this hero here. She, like, her neck, it's almost like frightening when you look at her. Like, she doesn't look okay. Like, this, something here is off. And I don't know what it is. It's something with her neck, I think. But I've been enjoying it regardless. What is this hero? Oh, this is one of the other EXs. She's an assassin. I really don't know much about this one, but the 2 different eye colors is kind of cool in my opinion. I don't know what this one is. Oh yeah, this is one you have to unlock after a while. She's got the horn thing going. Look at you got a male character here. Assuming this is a male, who knows? Got a guy here. Here's Ares, the goddess of war. Another one I don't know much about. I know more about Athena and then Poseidon, the one I have. These are kind of like your melee type of heroes. This one specifically is one you kind of get, and then there's different versions of them, like stronger ones. I will say some of like the alternative looks, like these guys, just aren't very good. The SRs are just like, there's some reasons to use SRs, but not a lot. This is my personal favorite hero design wise. I love like the bird look. I love like the wings and the arms and the birds and like the red eyes and the white hair. Chef Kiss, love the design. Think she's really cool. I've only gotten like 1 copy of her, so I can't really use her very much, but one of my favorites for sure. And then this is Poseidon. This is the one that I chose to go for because, I don't know, I just think the blue's cool. I think the design's cool. I just like the look. I was between her and Athena, I was really kind of torn between. Oh, I've seen this one. Oh, yeah, I've seen her. She's got, like, little pet. So, yeah, that's the game. I don't know. I want to talk about it because I've been really enjoying this game a lot. And if you are someone who likes idle games, obviously, if you watch my other content, I make a lot of stuff on AFK Arena. This is another style of idle game that I think is really cool. And I'm just looking forward to playing it. It's been fun. I think this is a game I actually could play long term. I know the last game I really got into, Chaos Zero Nightmare, I was really big on, but it really did become a chore. This game feels like it won't be as much of a chore to play. And actually, still a week later, even though that's not very long, I'm still very much hooked. I'm going to actually try to push a little bit farther in a few different areas after making this video. But yeah, that's all my thoughts. If you have played this game, let me know in the comments below what you think. Have you enjoyed it? What do you like? What don't you like? Is this a game that you think you'll keep playing? Let me know. I will keep playing, though, if you want to add me on the friends list. I guess my friends list is full, but I'll probably cleanse it eventually. Apparently, there's a lot of people who stop playing. Or probably what rather happen is they made new accounts to try to get better heroes. But send me a friend request if you want. My name is Tab for Bacon, and there's my information up here. ID there if you want to send me a request. But thanks for watching. As always, hope you have a great rest of your day, and peace.